Justin Verlander to the San Francisco Giants for $15 million. Kratz, you can start since you have some type of degree. What do you think about this fit for San Francisco?
Could you call me doctor? That would be great. I would appreciate that. I think it's great.
If you had a PhD.
I think it's great for San Francisco because they're a team that already has some decent deep pitching. You don't know what you're going to get from Verlander. You're not sure. He hasn't been able to pitch full seasons recently. You're sitting there going, okay, he's got a Cy Young when? When did he just win his last Cy Young? To me, you're going to get the most out of him in San Francisco. But you're going to say that about any pitcher. If Michael Lorenzen would have signed there, like you get guys who know how to pitch, who know how to stay away from big damage. Well, now all of a sudden it's tough to do damage in San Francisco. To me, I think it's a nice piece to slide in there because of some of their younger pitchers that they thought were going to have bigger roles, and he can teach those guys. Hopefully, if their development continues, they're going to be the ones that are going to help San Francisco down the line. But this year, I think it's a great signing.
We'll see. Father Time.
Wait, can I give you a pop quiz?
Father Time's undefeated. And guess who, as Scott so eloquently predicted, was not on the playoff roster?
Justin Verlander. Mm-hmm. But wait. Just because I counted him out last year,
I'm not saying that.
I'm just saying we'll have to see. Year. His stuff just didn't look like
his stuff wasn't where it was. There. So what? But again, Father Time even got Tom Brady.
Yeah, but it hasn't.
So is that
it
this
didn't
year?
Really get Charlie Morton.
I don't know.
Yet.
Did it get him last year?
Hold on.
Because if you look at his stuff, it went.
Okay,
down.
Everyone, ready for this? We all participate in this one. The same money was given out to Justin Verlander, Alex Cobb, and Charlie Morton. Who do you think has the most valuable year of those three players? Rank them. Who wants to start?
Charlie Morton.
How I was going to say Charlie Morton. How are we doing value? Alex Cobb is hurt all the time.
Charlie Morton,
He's been hurt
Verlander, Cobb.
I would go with the way Kratz did it.
I'm going, for me, if I was recruiting those three, Verlander for me has more upside than Morton at this point.
That's not.
But that's what
question.
I want.
That wasn't the question.
Okay, but who do you want? If you could sign any of those three for the same exact price, who do you want? I want Verlander. He's got more upside than Charlie at this point. Charlie's curveball's still good, but the rest of the pitchers are a little I think Charlie's a 4 or 5. I think JV, if he's pitching well, even if it's for 20 starts, he could be a 2 or a 3. No?
I'm going to let Kip answer this.
He can. Cobb's health is going to keep him at number 3 on that one a bunch. I think JV's getting into that era where he's going to provide, I'm hoping, stuff off the field too, and the tutelage to the younger guys. I do agree with AJ and stuff that if he wasn't on the playoff roster last year, that is telling. But I also think if they're all healthy, his ceiling was always the highest of the 3. But right now I have Morton at the 1.
Yeah,
fair?
I just think Morton's been consistently doing it for years.
Safe.
He hasn't been hurt.
Yeah,
he's safe. You said, but how are we judging value? By WAR? By
we have to
look
do something
at by how
adjusted.
His team does?
Because look,
Let's also not forget, Verlander went to a tougher division.
What, NL West?
Yeah.
Yeah, but the AL East for Morton?
Morton's done it, though. He's been in the NL East. He's been in the AL East. He's done that before.
JV pitches in San Francisco. Morton, Baltimore's okay now. Although the walls are coming back in a little bit. Yeah, at least it's still a pain.
Yeah.
It's tough.
I don't know. I still think Morton is the surer bet out of those 3 for me. And this is not a knock on Justin Verlander, but he's 42, 41?
Which 42. Is Morton. He's 42. Morton's 41?
41.
Yeah.
So 41 is when last year was the first time I think that I've seen stuff-wise Verlander kind of fall off. Mm-hmm. Right? And he said he wasn't hurt. I know he had some injuries. He came back. But that was the first time really that where you see his stuff kind of – it gets everybody. I don't care who you are. Jamie Moyer eventually had to retire too. Mm-hmm. But he was throwing 80 when he retired. Not trying to throw 95.
Oof. He was throwing 80 in his peak.
True.
Right.
Worst at bat ever.
Yours versus Moyer?
No, just the worst at bat ever.
Oh, just in general.
Because you're facing a guy throwing 80 miles an hour.
Yeah.
And he's talking trash to you when he gets you out. And you're like, dude, you're 55 years old out here getting me out. And there was no, it's like facing a position player. There's no positive to it. Because you're supposed to get a hit off the guy throwing 80, but then he carves you up and you're like, gosh, I feel dumb.
Yeah. He had an edge for a little bit. He was
I
different.
had this conversation with him last year in Seattle. I think Kratz was in the locker room.
You saw Moyer?
Yeah, he was we did the All-American high school game.
Oh, right.
He was one of the coaches, and we had a whole conversation about him, you grounding out and him running to first, talking trash to you as you're grounding out. He's like, oh, yeah. He's like, it was fun because I knew you guys were all mad because you couldn't hit me throwing 80.
That's awesome.
I know.
Yeah.
I was just saying. I wasn't mad about it.
Baseball's the sport where some people can look and go, wait, I can throw 80. It's like, okay, well, there's one guy, but okay. Here's the Giants' potential rotation heading into 2025. Logan Webb's great. Robbie Ray is really good when healthy. No?
Yeah. When healthy.
Yeah.
I hate that when healthy because
everybody when healthy, but I mean, some of these guys have had more injuries than others. So sometimes I put a when healthy when they're injury prone. That's my nice way of saying they get hurt a lot. Justin Verlander, Jordan Hicks, Kyle Harrison. Not bad.
It's not a terrible rotation.
No, not bad. The problem, Kip, is the division that they're in. They're the fourth best team in the division for me still. And I don't know if it's close.
That's why I don't understand the signing as much, or why he chose the Giants, I guess. You would think either you're comfortable in Houston, you go for a homecoming in Detroit, or some win now team. So that's why I'm a little confused by San Francisco, I guess. Doesn't mean San Francisco's not going to win. I'm just saying it's just a little confusing.
Yeah, he's got a guaranteed spot there. It's a good pitcher's park. You're pitching for adding on to your legacy. The money was I mean, I don't know what the other offers were, but he might have only gotten 10 from everywhere else. Not that money matters that much to him at this point. But
I was going to say money doesn't matter to him at this point. And a good pitcher's park, are you trying to get another long-term deal? He's already how old?
42.
I just thought
he's trying to wreck money. I
thought he was the best winner, or like the best chances to win, rather.
I get what
maybe
you're saying.
some of those people didn't want him.
True.
I mean, yeah.
And he might get bumped out. Let's say he's on Team X that's ready to make the playoffs, and he's pitching kind of mid for Verlander, but they've already got 3 dudes. He doesn't want to go to a place where, hey, we made the playoffs and now I'm off the roster again.
True. And look, this is a good spot for him because if he does well and the Giants are out of it, which we don't think they're going to be in it, do we? I mean, really? I mean, they're a good team, but they're 4th best in their division.
Mm-hmm.
He can get traded to a contender. He can get traded right back to Houston for 1 year if they're in it. Or he can get traded to the Mets to finish it off. Or he can get traded somewhere else to, let's say Detroit's in it. That'd be a nice story, right? Verlander traded back to Detroit to end his career. I don't know. I think this is one of those. This is one of those moves San Francisco makes, hopes it's a huge upside. And if it doesn't work out and they're not very good, they can trade him if he's doing all right. And if it's not, they're like, oh, Justin, much like Randy Johnson did, we'll kind of let you finish it out here and move on.
Also, Justin Verlander's still a draw. Like if you're in San Francisco, you're going, right? If you're like, hey, JV's pitching, this guy's towards the end of his career. And it's like, when's Verlander pitching? Oh, Thursday? Let's go to Thursday's game. Let's watch Verlander. We don't know how many more starts we'll have with him. Right?
Yeah. I agree. Him and Scherzer. Kershaw.
Yeah, Scherzer's a free agent. Kershaw's going to be back with the Dodgers.
Yeah, of course.
Scherzer's free agent too. Same thing. There's a problem in baseball with the ledger, with the bill these days. Who's pitching? And those guys weren't the last breed because there's guys nowadays, but there are less where you look and you're like, oh, I'm excited about that. I mean, we talked about a ton of those teams. Tigers, I can't wait to see Skubal. And then you're like, what else is going on the rest of the week?
But Kip and Kratz, let me ask you this. Don't you think there was a little bit of, you're like, why did he sign in San Francisco? That might have been the best team that was offering him a fair deal that he thought was fair. Like maybe Pittsburgh or Sacramento or someone like that was like, hey, here's 1 year, $15 million. And he's like, they really don't have a chance. At least in San Francisco, I might have a chance, right? Because you just don't know. That's why San Francisco was probably the best team on paper that was giving him the fair deal that he thought, where he had a chance to maybe win.
I think that's probably exactly what happened. You're right. I think that usually comes down to it, where people are like, exactly what I was just saying. Like, why do you choose there? Sometimes your hands are tied. Sometimes you're not all teams are calling in the offseason. I think we've all been there before. It's not all the ones you want and not all the ones that are winning, and you don't always fit the schemes or the rosters for them. So I think that's probably what happened. And listen, I think he's still going to be a good pitcher. I think he's still going to be very useful. With a ceiling of he can still be a top of rotation. Now, how healthy he is and whether his stuff trails off at the end of the season again like last year, we'll see. But it's still Justin Verlander. It's still a future Hall of Famer that we're talking about with some left in the tank. So I don't really want to count him out too much.